Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast, where we talk about the best show on TV, Warrior, and it is time for Season 3. Let's get fucking sticky.
Woo!
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Warrior Season 3 is out right now. I hope you're watching it on HBO.
Max.
It's Max.
God, it is not.
Come on, man.
It is not. That is such a dumb marketing move. Sorry. On Max.
Wait.
We are not going to get sponsored by them if you keep trashing them.
You got to do this right. It's on Max.
Okay.
You don't have to redo it or anything.
Don't?
Contract or no, I don't bow down to anyone's name change.
I didn't sign anything. We didn't sign anything.
It's so dumb. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
just think
sorry.
it looks so cool that our name is
Right,
above the
right.
fucking show.
Okay.
Like we're somebody.
All right. So shout out, first of all, to Jonathan Tropper and every member of the team that works on Warrior. You guys are amazing. I know a lot of you guys watch our show. First of all, our comments about Tropper being like not a fan of JCVD is not meant to be taken seriously. We talk a lot of shit, and that's okay because so does he, and it's fine.
We never said he wasn't a fan.
Well, okay. I don't know what the deal is.
He kind of called you out.
He did on Instagram. He was like, "Hey, bro,
I adore
I love Tropper."
how he's like, by the way.
By the way, every time he contacts
he
me,
will actually use us.
every time he talks to me on Instagram, he says, "Hey, bro, happy Father's Day." By the way,
Yes, I love it. I love it.
totally fine. Tropper's amazing. This show is genuinely one of my favorite shows to watch on TV. I can't wait to
keep
talk
trying
about
to
it.
convince him to use Jean-Claude Van Damme in one of his
not gonna
projects.
do it. He's
He's
never
not
gonna
going to
do
do
it.
it.
He's never gonna do it.
But it's funny because like there's a lot of crossover between Bruce Lee's stuff and JCVD's stuff.
JCV Jesus?
Yes, JCV Jesus. So like we like to give Tropper a hard time because he said that like he wasn't influenced by JCVD for anything that happened in Warrior, but we just like poking fun at him.
I think you called him a fucking liar one time.
I stand by it. No, I believe what I said was, you're full of shit.
I don't know why you guys like to give him such a hard time.
Well, he basically lifted the Kumite from Bloodsport at one point and stuff like that.
Enter the Dragon page.
That's been in other movies.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
been other
Anyway,
things.
we're here to talk about season 3.
Honestly, keep coming for us, Tropper. We fucking love it.
I love it. We come for you. You come for us. It's fine. Everybody comes. Everybody's happy.
Happy ending for all.
Sorry, I didn't clean that up.
All right, so here's the deal, guys. The people in the higher ups at WB or HBO or Max or whatever you want to call them, they have decided to drop 3 episodes for the beginning of season 3. So we're going to cover this. If we covered it like we normally would, it'd be like a 4-hour podcast. So we're gonna take this as a movie. This is a feature film, 3-hour movie. We're gonna cover it such as that. So we're gonna cover all 3 episodes at once during this podcast. Jude's synopsis is going to line up with all 3 episodes. So I would highly suggest before you... I'm so drunk right now. I would highly suggest before you watch this review, make sure you have watched all 3 episodes of the show and then come back and join us.
Because this is going to be a spoiler review, right?
Yeah.
Right. Heavy spoilers coming. So,
Yes.
just like
Because
you said, make sure you watch these they can't watch all... No, they can watch all 3 episodes.
Yep.
And... we've seen them already, so this is dropping like the exact same
the
time as
day of
the episodes are. So
which is great.
Yeah, I mean, we should point out the fact that this show was canceled.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this show had been canceled for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And then some brilliant mind at Warner Brothers was like, you know what, this is a pretty good show. Maybe we should bring it back.
Give that guy a raise.
Yes.
Yeah. A nameless executive at HBO Max, Warner Brothers, whatever.
Probably has a name.
Props to you. You're the one smart. They should put you in charge of DC Universe. So,
Nameless executive.
we love you, nameless executive.
Question.
Yes.
So I did a synopsis per episode. Are we going to break so I can do each one, or do you want me to do them all at the same time?
Did you not read my email?
I did not get that in an email.
I read it.
I know you read. Jude didn't read my email, so we're going to do episode by episode breakdowns.
We'll zip through it.
I scanned it.
Season 3, episode 1. Jude, take it away.
All right. Warrior, Season 3, Episode 1. Exactly the wrong time to get proud. Mylene thinks she's going to set up opium shop in Hop Way territory? Fuck right off, bitch. Ah Sahm tries to keep it cool, but apparently the Long Z don't know they're speaking to Asian Jesus. And it's Lee Young against Ah Sahm until Big Bill shows up with his gun, giving me fight blue balls. By the way, the chief is dead and there's a new sheriff in town. Big Bill's sizing up that chief's office, thinking he can fill that chair real nice. Young Jun's throwing his weight around town a la Mai Ling Season 2 and introducing a new Tong with an alliance to Mai Ling. Leary makes his presence felt among the business owners at a council meeting, and later his kinsmen make their discomfort at being unemployed felt, so he negotiates with the lumber yard and ends up getting 20 Irish gainfully employed. Bill visits his wife, and her brother-in-law really wants the family out of his house. A toy is still on the mend and divides her time between Chinatown and Sonoma. Mai Ling and Buckley have a moonlit meeting where they discuss campaign funds, and since she can't move further into the Hopway territory, she starts moving into the pond. Lee's a bouncer now, but he's still got that traumatic brain injury. Young Jun makes an ultimatum to Chow, and is it just me or is he the literal worst now? The cops have been cracking down on all the Hopway protected businesses, and Chow lets Ah Sahm in on an idea to make a quick buck. Speaking of bucks, Buckley fucks Bill right in the ass with a new chief that's not him and kinda looks like Kevin Spacey. And Chow's dad always used to say, the best way to make money is to make money.
Literally.
Wow.
Wow.
Can I say something? Can I start this?
That's what we're here to do.
This is the best opening to a television show in a third season,
Bro.
of literally all time.
They were sending a message.
all time.
They were like, you canceled us?
Wait, hold on. We're going to summon Bruce Lee
Bro. Dude,
from the dead.
that opening fight
And
scene.
we're going to have the best fight scene ever recorded for
TV.
streaming television.
Amazing. Dude.
It was, I sat there at my computer with this screener, Kate is sitting over here next to me, and I giggled for 10 minutes. And Kadish kept looking over at me. He's like, because he hadn't seen it yet. And I'm going, dude, dude. And he's like, I haven't seen it yet. And I was just like, I could not wipe the smile off my face.
Dude,
the entire day until I went to sleep. That I was talking about this thing at work. I go, you guys can't talk about this, but I've seen this show. Okay. And it's the best fucking thing you will ever see on television if you're into fighting kung fu movies. It was wild.
This opening episode, just the first half of this episode is freaking. Okay, so because I watched this pretty much in sequence with how we reviewed it on the podcast, I've had no gap. I watched season 1, season 2, season 3. I've had no gap. For people who are a fan of this show for season 1 and season 2 and then had to wait, like, what was it, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
A decade.
Like, to have this as the opening episode was a freaking salute to every fan out there. This was so freaking fun. Ah Sahm, he is 100% pure Ah Sahm. The fight between Ah Sahm and Lee Young when they're going, and he freaking beats the ever-living shit out of Young Jun for a minute, and then, like, he keeps his coat on. Like, they're sizing each other up, and they're like, freaking Ah Sam's like in a beater, and he's just chilling. He's like, all right, bro, let's go. And Lee Young doesn't even take his jacket off. He's just like,
but before Lee Young even gets there.
Oh, it's great.
So the very first scene of this thing is like, he's just sitting there eating his noodles or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And he sees some dudes, some of those.
They're not supposed to be there.
Not supposed to, okay.
Right.
And there's a kid. It's like, hey kid, come here. Oh, you know he Young Jun is,
like,
right?
Yeah.
And it's
you know me?
Yeah.
Everybody knows you, right?
Like, he goes, do me a favor. Here's a 5 spot, whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, go tell Young Jun, go to the hangout.
It's time.
You tell him it's time. Right. So the kid, he's running.
Yeah.
He's running.
And it's cut.
Jesus.
It's Ah Sahm fighting and then cut with this kid running.
This kid's running.
Friggin' so
And Ah
good.
Sahm is taking on all of the Long Z.
Every one of them. But when the kid goes in the door, right, and it's not like 10 seconds later, 50 fucking dudes start running out of the door. It's
And then we get
so
Hong
funny.
and then Young Jun coming
it's
out.
Like, it's just the entire gang it was just so funny the way they set that up.
Yeah.
And so amazing and fun, and just the way they started this season was just so in line with what I want to see in this show. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, and we should point out, I think that season 3 picks up 3 to 6 months after the events of season 2.
I like
Yeah.
to say 6
Is
because
that-
I like longer
hadn't even
time
thought about
periods.
it,
I prefer 6 months just because it gives more room for characters to do
Some
things
things-
So think
things-
about the fact that we didn't even see Penny in this episode, but she's been in an asylum
for 6 months.
for 6 months.
And Buckley's like,
She's not
"Shank
coming
her
out okay.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing I liked about all 3 of these episodes, no Penny, no Sophie. Conspicuously absent.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, that one girl in the insane asylum. Yeah.
And her sister who sucks.
They
Yeah.
didn't even mention her
that's
sister.
right.
Yeah. Poor Leary hasn't been laid in months.
We have. I mean, I know this is a 3-episode review.
Yeah.
But we didn't see Penny.
Not at all.
any of
Nothing.
them.
Nothing. Not even mentioned.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
her
no,
sister.
I'm
She's
sorry.
briefly mentioned,
She was
I think, in
mentioned
the
by
next
Buckley,
episode.
but that was it.
But the other thing is, it's like I know we've been this show took a hiatus for many years, right? And they had to make probably some script adjustments because we come in here and the police chief is dead.
Yeah.
So I immediately go, oh, he died
Well,
in real
I
life,
mean-
right? He must have died in real life.
Did he?
Or he's
I
just
don't
busy.
know.
okay.
But my brain immediately said they had to change some things. Did
Well-
you look into this, Matt? Or
I did not know.
Okay,
Okay.
so here's my thought with that. I don't necessarily think the actor's gone or anything like that, but we were discussing the fact that in the last review of season 2 for us, we were like, oh, freaking Big Bill. I don't know why I couldn't say his name. Big Bill is itching for that freaking
Yeah.
chief job.
But
Yeah.
that was a storyline that I felt like they had to insert. It felt forced.
Really?
It felt forced to me because
It felt a little abrupt.
It felt abrupt. That's
Okay.
a good word for it because I never felt like Bill was looking for the promotion to chief
Oh, I did.
because the chief was very well established. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves. I still want to talk about the opening fight scene, but that felt like a storyline that they had to
Rush a little bit.
rush in because something happened in the real world. But
You know, we did point out that there was like a 3-year hiatus between
Right.
season 2 and 3 because the show did get canceled, contracts were let go of, and so I'm wondering if like there were situations where like the actresses who played Penny and Sophie couldn't come back, or maybe just enough time passed where Tropper was like, yeah, we don't really have anything to do with these characters now,
Yeah,
so like, you know, might as well just write them out.
Oh, I totally assume that they're going to be in the next couple of episodes.
it's like I don't want to say that the actor has passed away or anything like that.
Yeah.
I feel like something happened to where
His contract
the actor
somewhere
that
else.
plays the chief of police
For-
couldn't come back.
Maybe.
So they had
maybe.
to do something.
But I was going out of season 2, I was already on the line of like, oh, Bill wants the chief position mostly because he wants to get out of Chinatown. He wants the power. He's corrupt enough. Like that one dude, I don't remember what episode it was in season 2, but remember he was like, oh, you know, your word goes a long way if you promote me to this. And it's like he's already in good with the rest of the cops.
Yeah, the mayor basically made him a celebrity
Yeah.
in the press and stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that.
I
It's
feel like
I'm not saying that that Bill wanting to get that position doesn't make sense. I'm saying that it just
happened
it
fast.
felt really rushed
Yeah,
the way
okay.
they had to do it. That's all.
That's fair.
Yeah, but this opening fight scene was amazing. I love the
Yeah.
fact that like we got a semi rematch between Ah Sahm and Lee Young, and they even mentioned it's like, you know, like just a couple months ago we were fighting side by side, but that doesn't give you the right to move in on our territory.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they were moving in.
They did
What
the-
are they supposed to do?
They did the same thing in what was it, season 1 when they had the Chinese boxing episode when they had the little pre-fight between Ah Sahm and Lee Young. What's up, Jude?
He died.
See, and that's what it felt like. It felt like they had to do something.
I didn't mean to giggle when I
No,
said
no,
that.
no,
I was like, oh
that's
shit,
good.
Vader was right.
Yeah,
You're right.
because that's what it felt like.
That's a
It
bummer.
felt like they had to make a course adjustment
Fuck.
and change the
He was
storyline a
young.
little bit.
61 years old.
What was his name?
Rest in peace, David Butler.
Yes,
David
rest in
Butler
peace.
Chief
as the
Flanagan.
Chief Flanagan.
Best police chief of old San
He
Francisco.
was great.
ever.
That's a
He was
shame.
great. Man,
He
that's
was
a bummer.
good.
I did not realize that.
Please continue your thought.
Damn. Okay. Well, on that note, Kadish.
Cheers to you.
Yeah, here's to the chief.
To the chief.
To the chief. All right.
So there is a new cast member this season that I want to give a shout out to. it is the chairman himself, Mark Dacascos.
Oh yeah.
If anyone here is a fan of the Iron Chef America, which I definitely am.
Absolutely.
So Mark Dacascos, he's a very famous, like kind of like B-level martial arts action star. He was in the only capoeira action movie I can think of, Only the Strong. But he's also like he's been in so much stuff. But he was,
John Wick 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the main bad guys in John Wick 3. He's an excellent martial artist. He's very steeped in samurai culture. He did a documentary on Miyamoto Masushi, I believe, or Masushi Miyamoto, who's one of the most famous samurais of all time. And so like to see him be brought into the warrior universe as the leader of a rival Tong, who basically bends the knee to the Long Z and joins with them. I really love seeing Mark Dacascos on screen in this.
It was really cool that he brought the Iron Chef Tong into
that's his Tong's actual name, are the Iron Chefs.
Yes, that's what we're going to call him going forward.
Noted.
The chairman and the Iron Chef.
Yeah. Dude, I did like a mass follow on Instagram this week when I found out all the new people in season 3.
I really like it.
I was just like, follow.
I want him, but when he goes into a fight, I want him to go, "A la cuisine."
Exactly.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah. And his Tongs just in the background making like fish ice cream and like all this other stuff.
Oh, fish sushi. Let's go. Mix it with the cream and put it in the blender. And we'll do some stuff.
So the Iron Chef the Iron Chef Tong. Okay, so that's what we're calling him.
The Iron
That's it.
Chefs.
Yeah, the Iron Chefs.
It's done.
And the other thing I really liked about these 3 episodes is how much we got of Chow.
Oh yeah, this is
Hoon Lee came out swinging in this one.
Yeah,
like, we get a lot of Chow in these 3 episodes.
there's a lot of Hoon Lee in these couple episodes.
Mr. Hoon Lee.
as there should be, because he's awesome.
He's incredible.
Listen, man, Chow is the glue of this show.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
He talks to everybody.
So real quick, let's cover a little bit more of the plot of episode 1. What else happens? So we get the main fight. We get the opening sequence where we kind of get reintroduced to everybody. What happens?
Speaking of Chow, so like he's doing an arms deal with like some local hooligans, and he notices that they have a whole ton of money just kind of like chilling out back there. And this is like the setup for like something like a little bit down the line. But
they got a shit ton of money, but they don't want to pay for their guns.
I find it funny. So like they were cheaping out on their guns, and Chow delivers these revolvers, and they look at them, they're like, they're kind of old, and Chow's just like,
$100.
Chow's test all of himself.
Dude,
they fine.
When he's like, I asked you if you want more, better guns.
You want new or you want cheap?
You want cheap, and you said cheap, so here's cheap. Like the way he delivered that line was just so perfect. It was amazing.
Chow has some of the best lines.
Oh yeah, for
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Chow do your job for you. You give me badge.
and we get the return of Hong Solo.
Yes.
In the big fight scene. Hong actually got his ass kicked a little bit by Lee Young.
A little bit, yeah.
As did Young Jun.
Everybody
I
gets
think
their
they're
ass
trying to
kicked.
make it a point that Assam and Lee Young are the best fighters.
They're
and
equals.
everyone else, no matter how good you are, you're not going to be that as good as these 2.
Yeah.
And we also got a lot of setup of the political landscape, which is basically Buckley is now mayor. He's got his new Buckley Jr. basically, his mini me in place.
Jr.
So like the Buckley mini me is basically laying out the landscape for us, where Buckley is now running for the office that he currently holds.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a mandate to do anything yet because he wasn't technically elected. And he's really bad at like, shaking hands and kissing babies and stuff like that, because he's more of the Machiavellian type. And Leary is now part of the political landscape.
The scene where Leary's in the council and
Oh,
he's
my
like,
boy.
we've been talking about the same thing for 3 freaking days and
let's
nothing's
adjourn.
happened.
Let's adjourn for lunch.
And the dude's like, welcome to politics.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Ah!" He just throws his hands
Oh my
up.
God, Larry hates his life so much right now.
Yeah.
Well,
For sure.
Especially because like he's doing all this hard politicking, right? And the people that he's doing this for resent him because he's not doing it fast enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're just talking mad shit the whole time.
You know what's weird for me? I mean, you guys know that I've always kind of been bored with Leary's storyline.
Oh,
right?
they took my job.
But now I find Leary's storyline to be like one of the more intriguing ones of the show.
That's interesting.
It's very strange, right?
Yeah, it is.
But
Well, we should also point out that his Irish followers are giving him a hard time as well because he got his ass beat by Ah Sahm at the end of last season.
Oh, yeah.
And you even see like the bruised knuckles of where Ah Sahm basically broke his hand in this episode.
That comes to a head in episode 3. We get a little bit.
You want to
Yeah.
start transitioning into the next episode? That
Well,
we can start talking about
I would
them all?
love to. I just want to make sure that we cover episode 1 because, like I said, like
We're not done
So,
talking
so
about it.
I know.
episode 1 basically what it does
Was a
is
reintroduction.
It reintroduces us to all the characters, and it starts it gives us a more of a kickstart to all the storylines
Right.
that have already been started, but it also like the
It explains it for the
replacement
newbies.
of the police chief,
Yeah.
and it continues the stuff, and it gives us the start of the new storyline with the money and stuff.
There are three
so.
things I want to point out about this episode. So first of all, the police are cracking down on Chinatown using like the legal like methods.
Yeah, and this was all part of Mai Ling's plan.
Yes, exactly. Mai Ling is definitely benefiting from this. Secondly, there's this weird thing where Chow is giving guided tours to rich women of Chinatown.
Yes.
But it's all to like kind of like feed them into Mai Ling so she can like kind of like schmooze with them and start working her way into duck society.
So, I need somebody to explain why she's doing this to me.
Money.
But
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Let me say that again. Money.
I feel like Mylene is a little more fascinated with duck culture
okay.
than she should be.
This is what
but-
Mai Ling is doing. And I think this was very well set up in the last season, is she is looking for an out of the gangster lifestyle. She's looking to take herself and maybe Li Young out of the Tong and into normal society. She's basically doing the same thing that a toy is doing,
Yes.
but in a different way.
Well, she's also looking to solidify her power outside of Buckley because right now she's too dependent on Buckley, and she knows that he's an unreliable ally.
I feel like Mylene is playing 4D chess,
She
Yeah.
is.
but I also feel like she's a little too enamored as we get along into this. I feel like she's a little too enamored with duck society.
I'm not saying
And-
she-
and
She has a thing for blondes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying her plan's flawless. I'm just saying that I think she has a better plan than most other people.
And-
she
and-
definitely has a better plan than Young Jun.
And I also want to say that I'm very pleased with myself because I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to remember names of this show.
Listen.
you know, I'm into this show now enough where I know who
Li Young
is,
Atoy,
and Atoy,
Mai Ling.
and Mai Ling.
Yeah.
And I
Listen,
was like, oh yeah.
If you go back, you go back and watch our first episode of season 1, episode 1, we are trash. We are horrendous. I feel sorry for Tropper for watching that episode and be like,
Those
Yeah.
these freaking assholes don't know what they're talking about. We're in season 3 now. We've got some names down. We've got some plot lines
And it's like,
settled
and these are
out.
short seasons, okay?
The 10
we don't
episodes.
get 25 episodes
Yeah.
per season nowadays.
And-
We have to learn these people quick.
Speaking of names, so the other plot line is Atoy is basically trying to leave her life in Chinatown behind
Yeah.
to go off with her lesbian lover.
I don't like that.
Miss Davenport, lesbian.
They're riddled with lesbianism.
Lesbianism
And
everywhere.
it's kind of funny watching her relationship with Ah Sahm because they have this kind of like on again, off again flair, and he realizes like, yeah, okay, like she's in the
This is the wrong, barking up the wrong
our
tree.
toy,
but-
Yeah.
our toy clearly likes she just likes sex.
Well, that's fine.
She just
Listen,
likes to play. It's okay, whatever. It's cool.
Nobody, look, Hong gets freaking laid in the first 3 episodes too.
yeah.
It's totally. I don't care. It doesn't
No, I
matter.
don't.
What I think our thread that we had from season 2 is still there. I don't get what's happening right
No,
now.
it's very
Like,
weird.
these two do not feel like they fit. I feel like
No.
the story wants them to fit.
Yeah,
but they
It's-
just
it
kind of don't.
Feels a little forced.
Feels a little forced.
Feels a little
like
forced.
I get the storyline, like as far as the story goes, which we'll get into in the later episodes. But like for this, like the two of them, just I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
I
But-
don't get it.
But sees episode 1
Sure.
just says, "Hey, we're still together.
We're back."
She still has her slave colony of Chinese whores out picking grapes. It's
Was it
fine.
this episode or was it the
No,
next
it's the
episode?
next episode.
When they're all sitting having a picnic while everybody else is working
Yeah,
around
it's
them?
ridiculous.
I was like, what are you
It's
doing?
ridiculous. It's like slave labor is still slave labor.
They're all picking berries and they're sitting
it's all
there,
good because
oh my God,
it's all
honey,
good because
this is
we
wonderful.
we get to eat dinner after the end of a 14-hour day of weeding the grapevines.
Plow the fields, bitches.
It's like, okay.
So one of the big storylines throughout all 3 episodes is Young Jun and his kind of he's not his dad, right? So
Right,
like
yeah.
everyone's kind of like
Don't fucking mention his dad around.
everyone's kind of calling him on his lack of leadership skills.
Right, yeah.
And he's also kind of suspicious of Ah Sam's motives still after the events
Fair
of
enough.
season 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basically, they realize that with Mylene making her moves, they need to kind of reestablish dominance, but they don't have the money to get the opium that they need to start up their opium trade again. So they come up with a plan with Chow. And they basically say, we're going to rip off these dudes who are, who have that big pallet of money, and we're going to use that to buy more opium. And so they have this attack on the people that Chow sold the guns to, and the guns backfire. And so,
Chow did sell them shitty guns.
Yeah, Chow did sell them shitty guns, luckily for him. And they find that the money's gone, but then in the basement of like their little hideout, they find a printing press and plates for counterfeit money. And they realize that these guys were basically running a counterfeiting operation.
That happens in episode 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this thing moves fast.
It's the very end
My
of
dad
episode
always
1.
said the best way to make money was to make money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so basically they decide that they're going to take the printing press and start doing their own counterfeit bills to try to make the money they need to buy the opium. And this is kind of the catalyst that sets off the rest of the season because we find out in episode 2 that it's going to be
Repercussions.
There's
There's
going to be a
repercussions
lot of
for that.
repercussions.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, I just really quick.
Okay.
I want to talk about my favorite character, Big Dick Lee. He's hanging out with his lady friend at the bar,
Gosh, she's hot.
she's smoking hot,
Man.
living his life, doing his thing.
I really like it when they're naked.
But they, oh no, right? They have the best sex scenes in the show.
They have the only sex scenes in the show right now. Yeah.
And he keeps getting attacked by bounty hunters, and I'm assuming that his bounty keeps going up the longer he's.
Well, he didn't get attacked
fugitive.
by the bounty hunters until episode 2.
I thought that was the end of this episode.
Nope. You want to talk about it?
Episode 2.
We'll get there.
We should also say that Big Bill is trying to get his family back. His wife and his kids have been at her sister's, whose husband is.
She looks great.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
say
taking
that.
such
Dude,
good care of her.
His brother-in-law is like, "Can you get your family out of my freaking house?"
I know, right? It's like, that's a whole other side story.
It's like, you've got a lot of kids and they're all eating my food.
I love it. I love it that they've made a little side story of Bill's family, basically
Mooching.
It gives Bill
mooching
motivation.
off of his brother.
He's not wrong.
We
No.
should also point out the actor who plays Big Bill looks like he's gotten pretty fit in between.
Yes,
seasons.
I didn't want to like kind
And
of break.
he's got the best beard ever.
He's got a
It's
fantastic
and
beard.
it's got little frosty tips.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
I
how do
didn't
you
want
do
to.
that?
I
How
didn't
do
want to
you-
break the fourth wall, but I did notice that in the 3 or 4 years that the show was kind of like off the air, that some of the actors look a little bit different, but not different
They're
enough.
4 years older.
Not
Yeah.
a little
3
bit
years
different
older.
that are like, oh, that doesn't look like the same person. But like Bill has slimmed up and he's gotten fit. Ah Sahm looks a little bit different to me, but I can't quite nail down
Well,
why.
here's the hairdo.
Here's the
Do you
thing:
hair?
when your wife and children leave you, you
get fit, you stop eating.
you stop eating,
Yes.
and you lose a little weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get
You know,
single skinny.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
So this show started in 2019, and there was only 2 seasons. So we haven't seen any of these actors since 2020.
Okay, so it's been
Yeah.
3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And,
All
they,
right,
all,
Jude.
and they all went to boot camp to get back in shape.
Have you seen
Yeah.
their workout videos?
I love the video.
Yeah.
The
I
video is really
love
cool.
that they all do that shit together.
That's
They're
so
like,
cool.
they go to the gym together.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
There's
love
a
it.
really cool video on Jonathan Tropper's Twitter or Instagram. And where he basically just goes through this warehouse and says, it basically says, hey, we're back,
Yeah.
warrior hashtag.
Yeah.
And it shows all the actors lifting weights.
Uh-huh.
I love
and
it.
I love it.
sparring
I wanna
back
go.
there. And
There's a-
it's really cool.
There's a wall of cardboard boxes for them to throw each other at.
I love how it
I
breaks,
want to go.
I love how it breaks the fourth wall. And it says, and they're all like, we're back, baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're all, hoo-ah! And it's
So-
like, and
Don't
see-
you so just want to be an extra that just like gets murdered on
Yeah.
the show?
Yes, 100%.
And you just-
100%.
Yeah.
And you just see Ah Sahm in the back.
Being a badass.
Being a badass.
With a
doing
freaking nunchucks.
Doing this shit.
So
Yeah, you know.
look, again,
And
my
so-
favorite character is Big Dick Lee, personally, and the actor Tom Jones. He doesn't have an Instagram, and that is so frustrating for me because I've reached out to every
See if
single.
his girlfriend does.
I know, right? I've tagged all the other actors in the show, and I've been like, "Hey guys, I love it, coming back, season 3. This is great, yada yada, whatever nonsense." And then I'm like, Freaking Big Dick Lee. God damn it.
I bet he has just like a Facebook instant message.
Anyway, let's do
Still on
episode.
Friendster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on MySpace.
MySpace.
All right. Episode
right.
2. Take it away, Jude.
Warrior, Season 3, Episode 2. Anything short of a blow to the head. The Department of Counterfeit has found their way to Chinatown and are determined to get their plates back. The lone survivor points to Chow, some Chinaman, who's been trying to get the printing right, but thus far hasn't been successful. The new chief sucks, and Mayor Buckley couldn't be more pleased. He reminds us that he has Penny locked away in an asylum while he spends her fortune on his campaign. Lee's cousins walk into the bar looking for him and don't walk out. This fucking barmaid keeps calling him Richard like he's not Big Dick Lee. He wants to run away with her, but she's making that good barmaid money and distracts him with her boobs. Mai Ling seeks counsel from her new ally who advises her to let nature take its course with the Hop Way. The Irish are biting the hands that feed them, and Leary uses his giant swinging cock to call them out, adjusts his jacket, and walks off the yard while I swoon. Kevin Spacey gives Bill a talking to, threatening without threatening that he better fall in line, and then karma, in the form of the Department of Counterfeit, smacks the new chief down. Ah Sahm finds his new printer, who politely declines, but his spirited daughter, Yan Mi, seeks Ah Sahm out, promising she can fix their counterfeit situation. Hothead June is blowing off some steam at the gambling hall in Chinatown, Moulin Rouge, where Hong sees his own personal Satine, but June pulls him away before he can sing Come What May to him. Bill's brother-in-law tries to pay him to get his family out of his house, and Bill ends his day at the Banshee, where the Irish seem to be rallying against Leary in his own house in front of him. Leary takes on 2 Irish brothers while I drown in desire, and walks away proud and even more Irish, I think. Davenport gets an offer for her land that she flat out refuses, and the printer's daughter makes that cheddar on the reel. At the mayor rally, Buckley comes under scrutiny for not having a family, and a gross woman that doesn't have red hair reaches out to him with obvious intentions. Mai Ling gives her Barnes & Noble autobiography excerpt to the white lady tea time party, and the blonde one dresses her up like Chinese Barbie. There's another lesser Tong battle when Mai Ling tries to absorb the 3 brothers' Tong, and Li Yong and his buddies smack down any opposition. And finally, Lee gets recruited into the Department of Counterfeit, who know all about that pesky Georgia murder bullshit and are ready to make it go away. Discuss.
2 things.
Yes.
1. Bill absolutely has the best beard in the show.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
His beard game's on point.
He looks
Yeah.
fun. I want to look
It's
like
like
him
he-
when I grow
he
up.
It's like he
is-
goes to a barber and has like a pair of clippers.
Oh, yeah. He's coiffed.
I
on both sides,
need
you
it.
know.
I need it. Anyway, okay. And 2, that dude absolutely looks like Kevin Spacey.
He does, right?
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it until you said it, and now I can't unsee it.
The new
Yeah.
police chief is
The new
discount
police-
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
It's got Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
What is happening?
So we should point out that basically Buckley brought in a former police chief from New York that has experience not only in the military, but also experience cleaning up the Chinatown problem in New York. And so he comes in and basically installs this guy to basically clean up Chinatown, and Bill is not happy.
He is immediately every supervisor I've never wanted to work for again. He immediately throws his dick on the table and he's like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
Like, it's just
yeah. Kiss it.
complete douchebaggery.
Yeah.
Freaking Jude.
But we should point out that this episode starts off with the introduction of our new primary antagonist, at least for Ah Sahm and his friends, which is the Secret Service agent who I don't remember the name of.
He's the
The
Secret Service guy.
Department of Counterfeit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's on the lookout for the counterfeit $10 bills.
Yeah.
Well, it's him and his partner, and they kind of stop the delivery of the counterfeit that we saw from the previous episode.
Yeah.
But his partner gets killed.
Yeah. So they're down one Department of Counterfeit person,
Yeah.
and they got to fill that spot.
Yeah. I don't remember his name either, but
Doesn't matter.
Secret Service guy.
Secret Service guy.
Yeah.
I love it when he comes into the chief's office and the chief is like, fuck
Oh,
off.
throws his
And
dick
he's
around.
like,
Outta here.
He's,
He's like, I have a bigger dick than yours.
yeah, he's like, I did this as a formality,
Yeah.
and you better fall in line with me, or I'll make this my fucking office.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an epic throwdown.
Because the Secret Service is a federal agent who outranks the local.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny to me is that every time he like introduces himself, it's like I feel like he should be saying, it's like, I know you haven't heard of me yet, but I'm a real department, and I work for the federal government.
Yeah.
Okay, I want
the Secret Service thing.
This is like by order of the president.
The what? The Secret Service.
It's funny because at the time the Secret Service was secret.
Yeah.
And so like nobody ever heard of him. So he keeps having to say,
Bro,
I know you haven't heard of me.
I freaking love Chopper. Listen, the Secret Service was originated July 5th.
What the fuck? Did that just come in? Breaking news?
No, I just Googled it.
Oh, I thought you were saying the Tropper sent this.
No, but I'm just
Okay.
like, I'm saying I love him because he's freaking, he's on point with this shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
July
Well, he's
5th,
done some research.
I'm sure. 1865 was the
So they've
original.
been around 8 years.
Not even.
7, 8
No,
years.
this is.
1877.
Oh,
Isn't that when we're? Isn't that the
okay?
year
So
we're
it's been
in?
about 10 years,
Yeah.
about ish.
Yeah, it's like I mean,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
so they're still new.
people
Yeah.
are using like
And nameless
nameless
Secret Service guy basically says like, I work for the president.
Yeah.
Like there's the
And
president,
that's why
then
you
there's
don't
me.
know this
So-
this character's name because it's secret.
Here's because we don't pay attention.
Yeah, we're terrible with names.
What I love about this is immediately because Bill is a character that we know and love, and he got overthrown by this freaking chief guy from New York, we immediately don't like the chief, right? So then this Secret Service guy comes in and throws his dick on the table in front of the chief that we don't like. Now we, by default, kind of like the Secret
enemy
Service
of
guy.
my enemy.
I do.
Right? Yeah.
Right? I can't like the Secret
Which
Service guy.
you shouldn't, because he's a direct opposition to
Yeah.
Assam.
Yeah, but we've discussed how all of these people are pieces of shit.
But here's the thing.
I really hate this cocksucker new chief dude.
Yeah.
He's a douche.
He's
Yeah.
a fucking dick.
Absolute douche.
I just
shout out to
feel
the
like-
actor because he's awesome.
I feel like they got someone who looks kind of like Kevin Spacey on purpose because
Maybe.
Kevin Spacey's a bad guy.
Maybe. But just real quick, I just want to talk about the like aligning this whole character situation going on for us as an audience. We're watching this, like we don't know who to like, who not to like.
Yeah, it's
We're like-
very difficult.
It's like, oh my God, I don't like the freaking Secret Service guy because he's going up against Awesome and he's trying to take down Chow, but also he's freaking awesome because he's like taking down this new chief that I don't like because he
that
took
guy.
his
Get
job
him
from
outta
Bill.
here.
Like it's so like freaking 4D chess.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, the great thing about Secret Service guy is that he's actually very competent.
Yes.
Right? So like he comes in there and he's like, I want to see your personnel files, and Chief tells him to go fuck off. He's like, no, no, no.
I don't know who you are.
I may take over your office if you don't,
Yeah.
do this stuff for
Yeah.
me. So like he puts the chief in his place, he gets the personnel files, and he realizes that Big Dick Lee is the guy he needs on his team because anyone who punched out his superior officer and quit in a huff
Is actually
seeing how
cares
this
about
thing
the
is-
law.
It's like, I
Yeah.
love it how he goes in there and goes, what I'm going to need is an office and access to your Chinatown squad. And I'm going to need you to do whatever I tell you.
Yeah.
Basically, is what he says. So,
And when he tells him to fuck off, he's like, no, I've already done all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, this was a courtesy.
Yeah.
I actually didn't have to tell you I was doing it.
But Katie makes a good point, though. He's like, he sees the roster of the Chinatown squad, and then he's like, these guys are all corrupt.
Yeah.
Except for the one dude who just
Yeah.
quit. The one dude who quit
Except for
6
that
months
one
ago.
wanted for murder.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. I want him on my
Yeah,
team.
so in this episode is when the bounty hunters come after Big Dick Lee.
Yeah. I assumed they were his cousins. I guess I was wrong.
No,
I just took him as bounty hunters.
No, they were just straight up bounty hunters.
Fine.
And so like Big Dick Lee and his girlfriend basically end up killing them. And his girlfriend's actually like Happy Jack's
Niece or something.
niece or something like that.
which one is Happy Jack?
Happy Jack is the molasses salesman.
So he's the,
okay.
he's
All
the
right.
black guy in the red light district.
Of San Francisco. What's it called again?
You guys are going to
It's
have
like
to pardon
Tortuga
me.
Town or something?
You're going to have to
It's
pardon
just
me.
the local molasses guy.
The
There's a lot of characters.
Botany Bay.
You literally just said you
Bonnie
knew
Bay.
names.
the Shady Mile is kind of hitting me a little bit right now. I'm starting to.
What's funny is that in season 2 they introduce Happy Jack, who's
Right,
kind
yeah.
of like the
Right.
local crime lord of Botany Bay,
Okay.
which is the red light district of San Francisco.
where all the pirates are. And
where all
Yeah.
the pirates are,
Okay.
and where all the fighting pits are, and they make it a point that he's never happy,
Yeah.
even though he's called Happy Jack.
I have that in my notes.
Yeah, and so like basically, he realizes that there's a price on Big Dick Lee's head.
So Big Dick Lee is working for his girlfriend in the bar at Happy Jack's bar.
Yes,
It's Happy
Okay,
Jack's bar. She
and-
just
and-
she works it. Yeah.
The bounty hunters come and
He kills them
Big
both.
Dick Lee and his girlfriend kill them both, and then he has to take care of them.
Yeah,
that's
and then
where
he's
we're
like,
at,
"Well,
so.
and then Happy Jack's like, I got a guy who pays good money
That was
for
a really
dead
good fight.
bodies."
That was a really good fight scene. Oh yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh,
Don't ask any questions about
yeah,
that.
He said no questions asked. Dead bodies. He buys them, and I'm like,
what are they doing with the dead bodies?
It's the same thing Buckley's doing with the redheaded prostitutes.
"Thank you."
You're
Where's
welcome.
that?
What is
Where's
happening?
that? Where's that?
Where is that storyline? I
Yeah.
want to know what's going on.
Did you notice that the brunette who was like trying to like flirt with Buckley, he was like, ugh, you need red hair.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
notice that.
he's totally grossed out by her because she doesn't have red hair.
Well, you
Okay.
know, redheads are superior.
So I just of all the things that happens in this season, I need some answers about the redhead thing. Like that. I mean, we're already
It has to come back.
already
Well,
3 episodes in.
we got the answer last season about why he's into redhead.
Well, yeah,
We
well, I know
want to
why.
know the what.
But what is he doing to them?
he's just dyeing their hair, washing their hair.
No, he's not. No,
I don't
he's not.
think so, Kadish. You sweet summer child, you.
There's some weird stuff going on, bro.
There's a severe lack of
There was-
redheads
there
in
was
San
some- there was
Francisco.
Some of you have never murdered a hooker, and it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so basically, now that the bounty hunters have found Big Dick Lee, he's kind of concerned about his future with his current girlfriend. And nameless Secret Service guy comes in and says, like, hey, if you agree to come back and help me out with this, I will get rid of this bounty on you and you'll be free to live your life. And so Big Dick Lee becomes the Man in Black and returns
Yes,
to...
he does.
I gotta say this. He looks freaking good in that
Doesn't
suit.
he?
He looks good in that suit.
I don't know why, but somehow Little Dick Lee is now Big Dick
It's
Lee.
Big
in my
Dick
head.
Lee, dude.
He's back to
He
Big
was
Dick
always
Lee.
Big
He's
Dick to
always
me.
Big Dick.
He's I like crackhead Big Dick Lee now for some reason. I don't know why. I can't explain it. but
He got his big dick status back when he took on the Fung Hais in the last
Maybe.
season. For me,
Just fucking
when
blowing them
he's
away.
freaking-
I think I like it that he has a dark side to him now.
okay, fair
Does
enough.
that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like he's not just super cop, but now he's got a
Now
dark
he's got
side.
a badge behind him.
He's got
He's
got
kind of Jekyll and
he's
Hyde.
got
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly
You
why I
know
like
the
it.
best part about Big Dick Lee is in the first episode where he breaks up the bar fight and he uses one of his like colloquialisms, like metaphor.
Oh yeah,
down home
The
metaphors.
southern
Yeah, yeah.
sayings.
and the guy's like, what the fuck does that mean?
I want a little tiny pocket book of Big Dick Lee's southern sayings. Like
Yes.
I need that.
He's a cop, but he's got no issue just murdering people.
Yeah.
It's fine because they're
Just
coming after him.
fucking
Everything is
murdering
black and
people.
white.
So
Except for that.
Yeah.
another big character that's kind of like reintroduced, even though we met her in the first episode, is the new love interest of Ah Sahm, who's the printer's daughter. What was her name again?
Yan Mi.
Yeah, but
Young
that's
Mi.
more of a episode 3 thing,
Yes.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
well, no, like she comes into prominence this episode because basically the Tongs are so bad at counterfeiting that they need to find someone, and
Well,
Young June's basically assigns it to us on. It's like find someone for us.
And she wants-
wait,
Go ahead.
wait. We haven't set that up. So, but the
Set it up for us, man.
so Young June's Tong, what's it called?
Hopway.
Hopway.
The Hopway and Chow. At the end of episode 1,
Find the printing
they
press.
find the printing press and
Yeah.
they figure out what it's for, and it's for printing money.
Right.
And they have the plates and the printing press.
You
and everything.
obviously blacked out when we covered it.
I
think you did a
must
little
have.
bit.
I
It's
must have.
okay.
Yeah,
Just
we
let him
covered
keep
it.
going.
Shady mind.
You're
Keep
doing
going.
great, man.
You're doing
but,
fine.
But so they have the printing press and they don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have to go figure out. Ah Sahm knows one of their people that they shake down every week.
He's a printing
He's
guy.
a printing guy.
Yes.
And
He's like, "Hey, can you help
They
us?"
go to him to get some help, and he says, "Fuck you."
Well, he doesn't want to get involved
He
in
doesn't want to
tongs.
get involved in tongs, but his daughter's
Daughter's
like,
like, we could use the money.
okay, maybe your deal of leaving us alone
Well,
for going
paying off
forward
the debt.
is
yeah, he offers
is
to
good.
wipe out their debt
Yeah.
in exchange
And
for their help.
I'm sorry, but she's kind of hot.
Oh,
kinda
she's
hot.
what do you mean sorry?
She's
Spirited.
Don't apologize
I,
for
I
that.
like her.
I like her too.
I like her a lot.
What was her name again?
Yan Mi.
Yan Mi.
What is
Mi.
it? Young Me?
Young Mi.
I didn't even know her name. She's,
I didn't know her name
she's
either.
printer girl. In my head, printer girl, counterfeit girl.
He's gonna make like a love ballad tonight. Oh, printer girl.
honey, printer
Listen,
girl.
when
I
she's
love
talking
you.
in the next episode, when she's talking to Assam with like the puppet play thing,
Elizabeth, we gotta get there.
Be
We gotta
still,
get
my
there.
beating
We're
heart.
gonna get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just needed to build that up.
that's fine.
That Ah Sahm meets the printer people, and
Fair.
The printer and the printer girl.
Yes.
It's like goes behind
Young
her, goes behind her dad's back.
Now I have. He was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple.
Oh my god! And but yeah, it's a thing, and I like it.
God.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is the Hopways kind of counterfeiting storyline where they bring in this girl who knows what she's doing, and she actually prints out like passable counterfeit bills.
Yep.
I love how she sets them straight too. She's like, she walks
She
in
walks in like a boss.
immediately.
She's like, I know exactly what you're doing wrong.
You're doing this wrong.
You
You're
don't
doing
know.
that wrong. You're doing that wrong. You don't know what the hell you're
Yeah.
doing. I can do it for you.
She's like, you're not even loading your ink right.
oh my god, she dismantled their whole operation
it
in
was
like 30
hilarious.
seconds. It was great.
She's like, I can do this for you, but it's gonna cost you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And this is what.
Hey, you know what? This is the best movie quote of all time as far as like jobs go. If you're good at something, don't do it for free.
Yeah.
It's like, I want you to leave my dad alone.
And,
Yeah.
and there's this great scene. So like, there's a lot of sexual tension between her and Ah Sahm. There's this great scene where Ah Sahm
to pat her down.
well, yeah. So like he's practicing his nunchaku.
Yeah.
And she
That's
comes
in the next episode.
Is it?
Yeah,
I thought it was this episode.
No,
That's
it's
episode
it's
3.
okay.
Well,
Okay.
anyway, she has this great line where she's like, "Have fun playing with your wood."
Speaking of wood,
That was good.
episode 3.
No, we're not done with
No,
episode
no, no.
2.
We're not done yet?
No.
We got to go to the slave plantation. Okay, we got to
Wait,
go.
was
To
that
Because we're introduced to the main antagonist of this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Overall,
the
bad
railroad
Douglas.
guy, the real,
Yeah.
you know, because he really,
Davenport.
Yeah.
So he
Is that
so
his
he
name?
shows
No,
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 that's her
Davin-
name.
No, that's her name. He shows up. I don't know what this guy's name is.
Douglas.
Douglas? Okay. Douglas
Mr.
shows up
Douglas.
at Davenport's Vineyard
Douglas.
and says, hey,
Douglas is the train guy,
Yes.
yes,
the railroad
Yes.
the tycoon.
dude. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
with a fantastic facial hair.
He looks good.
Yeah,
He's
looks
a
real
good-looking dude.
I am obsessed with how you guys have such boners for facial hair.
Listen, good beard game is hard
yeah.
to find.
No, I get it.
I don't
Yes.
have it. I don't claim to have good
Well,
beard game, but
someday-
when I see somebody,
someday you'll be.
You're getting close to being able to twirl this.
I'm so happy for you,
Dude, I'm so happy too.
that you
I know. I'm gonna have to cut this out.
That you're able to grow your face out now. It's really funny. But yeah,
Close.
Okay, moving on.
I need to talk.
Douglas goes to Davenport and says, "Hey, we're gonna build a railroad right through the middle of your vineyard." And she says,
cool, right?
"She's like, no, fuck you."
No.
And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna pay a really good price for your land." He's like, "Why would you?" She's like, "Why would you pay good price for my land?
No.
If you're gonna plow
Not-
through it,
Listen, not a good price.
fair price,
Fair price.
market
Well,
price."
here's the thing about that, though, right? So, like, the U.S. government is going to annex that
Yeah.
land.
They're just going to take it regardless
They're
of
gonna
whether or not
take
she
it.
sells
So
it.
he's actually trying to do her a favor by saying, like, hey, I'll buy this land off of you. And of course, Davenport doesn't want to relocate her whore slave army. So she's like, no, go pound sand. And then Davis, is that his name, Davis?
Is it wrong?
Douglas.
It is. It's a whore slave army.
It is.
Right? It's ridiculous.
So Douglas, as he's leaving, his gaydar goes off, and he realizes that Davenport and
Well,
and,
they're
and
making
Otoy-
out on the front balcony facing his carriage.
Yeah. So he realizes that there's some gay shit going down.
Oh, yeah.
He's
They
like,
like-
I know how to get that land for cheap. You're gay.
They like the puss. They're like
I'm going to tell everybody about you being gay.
There's some muff divers over there. All right.
But there's also an interesting development where one of the Leary has a great scene in here where he basically fires 2 of his men for screwing up by picking fights with Chinese laborers.
Yeah.
And that's the scene that I think Jude came in her pants over
I did a little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little drip.
Can I go back to the? Can I go back to the vineyard real quick?
yes, you can.
You're telling me that this dude was like, he looked at this exclusively female
all chicks.
vineyard and
All
said,
chicks.
maybe there's some gay shit going on.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
What's happening here?
I think there's some gay shit
I
happening.
think I smell lesbianism.
So anyway,
She doesn't even have like a male plumber
Nothing.
or a
I mean, think
housekeeper.
about all women. This
Yeah.
fucking trapper.
This chick just goes to all the whorehouses on the West Coast.
Just all
Do you have
the
any
chicks.
Chinese hooers? But they like to,
they like to pick grapes.
Yeah. The younger the better, please.
would they like to pick grapes? That's very.
Not metaphorically.
can all eat pussy and take grapes together. It'll be fantastic.
And Douglas is like, something suspicious happening over there.
Yeah, so Leary gets recruited by these tycoons and politicians. They just look at him as a thug.
Yeah.
And they basically say, like, hey, we want you to go after this Douglas guy because he's our main competition.
Yeah.
And so, like, Leary, in addition to basically having to deal with kind of like a in-home rebellion from the Irish.
And they're basically their own worst enemy. Like, I just got you to be gainfully employed, and you're going to fuck it up for yourself and me?
Listen, I've worked with union members before. This is 100% accurate.
But there's a great scene where Leary kind of gets his groove back by beating the shit out of these two Irish players.
yeah.
That was episode 3 again.
No, that's this episode.
It is?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
because it ends on that.
Yeah.
And also, one of those freaking kids sucker punches Leary in the chest to the same spot as Sahm did, and it hit him in a way that he felt it, but then immediately he went into like a rage boner against these two guys, and he like knocked the shit out of them. It was a cool moment. Great fight. Loved it. I love seeing Leary do what he does best.
Yeah.
Leary in a politician setting.
I was just going to say,
no
like,
good.
and even the other councilmen are like, this isn't your strength, buddy.
Yeah.
It's fine that you want to come in here and wear a suit and be part of the council meeting, but that's not what we need you for.
Yeah. And they're
Like, it's not your strength.
And they're all hiring him to go do stuff for
Yeah.
other, like, oh, go talk to this
And they're
lumber
totally
guy.
just trying to keep him in like his place.
Yeah.
Of like, you just think I'm a thug. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, yeah.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
And that's what you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're great at it.
What are you saying?
Isn't Leary based on a real character in the real world?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ask your best friend, Chopper.
He's not answering my Instagram.
Can you call him?
I probably could.
We'll ask him if we have him on the show again.
Okay,
All right.
sure.
For sure.
Sure.
So that's write that one down.
Well, he is. I think Kadish mentioned it.
I think
it was
he did.
something Dennis something.
You know, that's something that's cool about this show that I've we've kind of tagged onto is that we're using real world history
Scenarios, yeah.
as kind of inspiration for what's going on here.
Well, that whole riot from season 3, that was all
yeah.
based on a real thing. It was crazy.
Yeah, we should also point out, so there's another scene before we move on where Lee Young, and I'm calling him Marky Mark DeCastos, Marky Mark team up to take on the three brothers Tong.
I don't care for it, but please continue.
Well, I don't know his name in the show yet, so like I'm just going to refer to him as Marky Mark. So Marky Mark and Lee Young team up, and basically they're trying to recruit another Tong into the Long Z, who turn on them. They're called the Three Brothers Tong, and this is the first time we get to see Mark DeCascos in action with Lee Young.
Oh, he's great.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Iron
Yeah,
Chefs
they buddy
they're
up.
legit.
The Iron Chefs are
They're
good.
legit.
Well, now
Good.
Lee Young has like his fighting buddy.
Yeah, 'cause they grew
just
up
like
together.
Ah Sahm has his fighting buddies.
Well,
Yeah.
they used to be in the same Tong together, and then Lee Young kind of went off with the Long Z, and they were enemies for a while. And so, Mark DeCascos' character, he's old school, just like Lee Young is, and he's not quite fully on board with Mai Ling, but he realized the reality of the situation was he either had to join them or he was going to end up dying.
I don't know if it's in episode 2 or episode 3, but when they're sitting next to each other drinking some sake or whatever, and he's like, the best part about not being a Tong leader is not being a Tong leader.
Yep.
He's like, it's not my problem. It's your problem.
And that is so true.
100%.
That is so true in real world. It's just like this. Sometimes it's nice not being in charge.
100%.
Also,
gotta,
did
you
you
know-
catch that he said that to Lee Young and didn't say that to Lee Young about Mai Ling?
True. Also true.
So basically, the Long Z took out a rival Tong. The Hop Way have counterfeit money. The Secret Service is in town. Big Dick Lee is back in charge. And Bill's family is still staying with his brother-in-law.
Begrudgingly. Yeah.
Could you get your family out of here? Jude, episode 3.
Okay. Warrior Season 3, Episode 3, No Time for Fucking Chemistry. Well, it's Monday morning in the pond and everyone's hungover. The Hopway test out their newly acquired cash on Happy Jack, who's literally never been happy a day in his life, and walk out with their molasses order. Davenport reiterated that she's not willing to sell her land to make way for the railroad, and having seen her with a toy, Douglas tries to leverage what he knows against her. Lee's girlfriend laments that it must be nice to be white when she's brown and just wants to run a bar, but he's wanted for murder and gets promoted to Sergeant Counterfeit. And then Lee holds his own council meeting with the Chinatown squad and asks them to test the dollar bills they're getting on the take, as the entire squad is dirty. Bill's like, what the fuck? I thought you were my guy. And Lee's like, I'm nobody's man. Printer's daughter has counterfeiter's regret, and then Ah Sahm swings his nunchucks and his dick around, and she's all like, never mind. That gross brunette lady reacquaints herself with Buckley at an art gallery that Mai Ling also happens to be at with her blonde white lady. Leary and Railroad Douglas have a whiskey and some real talk, and Leary goes from talking politics to talking economics. Loudmouth June makes it rain on his Tong men, rallying the troops and making Ah Sahm and Chow uneasy. Chow informs Ah Sahm that Mai Ling is making strides, not moves, and Lee enters Chinatown for the first time since the massacre. He questions Chow and is pointed straight back out of town. After, the agents of Counterfeit follow him to no avail. Mai Ling seeks Ah Sahm out in Hopway territory, and she tries to sway her brother to her side yet again. Davenport tells Atoy of her Douglas Railroad troubles. Young June is handing out money, begging to be busted, and Ah Sahm is like, what the fuck, bro? While best friend Hong is like, Mom, Dad, please don't fight. Ah Sahm takes Printer's daughter to her super secret dumpling spot, and I'm both hungry and waiting for these two to bang already. Hong goes back to Moulin Rouge, where Satine sings directly to him, and then they merrily trade dicks. Some guy tries to strong-arm Leary in his own joint, and Leary's undying dick high-fives the guy with his face and smacks him right out of the Banshee. Ah Sahm and Printer's daughter almost kiss, and this bitch is playing the long con while stealing a few dollars at a time in her hair. Daventoy were just about to slip into a nice bath when Douglas's men show up torching the vineyard. Thankfully, Atoy and Lai brought their swords to wine country, but not before the whole vineyard goes up in flames. Discuss.
Okay, this episode is great. I only want to talk about two things. though.
Okay,
Two
nothing
things.
else.
Only
Nothing
two
else?
things and nothing else.
that's not gonna
Chow
happen.
and Big Dick Lee. Great freaking scene.
Oh, man.
Dude, he's like, hey man, listen, I'm not a cop anymore. Things are different. He's like, it sounds exactly the same.
You got- you
Sounds
got-
like you're paying me to be a snitch.
Yeah.
Well, here's the door.
Yeah.
It was like Chow was reading this book like it was written right in front of him. He's
I was
like,
like, what are you doing back in
not-
Chinatown?
stop, dude. You're really
Yeah.
bad at this job.
Yeah.
It was
Also,
glorious.
there was a great scene before that where Bill offers to assist Big Dick Lee.
Oh, yeah.
And Big Dick Lee doesn't trust Bill because he knows like
Yeah.
he's
Well, he's
corrupt and all
crooked,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. You
And-
always
and-
have an angle, Bill.
Yeah, and so he's like, thanks, Bill. I got this, and Bill's like, oh, okay.
Good luck.
It's your fucking funeral.
Yeah. But yeah, the scene between Big Dick Lee and Chow was great. It was one of my favorites in this episode. And I just can't wait to see what Big Dick Lee does this episode. When he's
Yeah.
got that black suit and that badge,
Woo!
and he's got some work to do.
Where he dressed down the whole Chinatown squad.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I know you're all on the take. Why don't you test your money?
Yeah. And was it iodine? He says if it's
something like that,
iodine,
yeah.
it turns black or something
Yeah.
like that.
It's
Great.
like, fake, 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 fake.
Yeah, there's a great scene in this episode where basically they go to buy the molasses, the opium from Happy Jack with the counterfeit money.
Yeah.
And they don't know if it's going to pass muster
Yeah.
or not. And so like there's this great tense scene where like the Happy Jack's men are looking through the money and
And Ah Sahm and Chow are all just like standing there with their fingers crossed behind
dude.
their backs.
Like, again, Hoon Lee is an incredible actor.
Yeah.
When he plays this scene, and like from an editor standpoint, when you're looking at this, you're like, okay, we're gonna get Happy Jack, we're gonna get his crew looking at the money, and then whose reaction are we gonna look at? They don't look at Assam, they don't look at Young Jun, they go to freaking Hoon Lee as Chow, and they go to his reaction. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
and also Happy Jack is very suspicious that Chow is there to
Yeah,
begin
it's
with.
like,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like,
What are you doing here,
what are you
Chow?
doing here, Chow? And he's like, oh, I
Oh,
made a
Chow,
good
make
investment.
investment.
Investment. He knows something's up. He knows something's up.
And like Young Jun is just making it fucking rain in
Oh,
Chinatown.
God, he's crazy
And,
right now.
and like it's only a matter of 2 seconds before everyone finds out there is counterfeit money in Chinatown, and they're only going to look at June.
You know why June is doing that? He's doing it because he feels like his dick is too small because of Assam's
yeah, but
freaking
here's-
mural
He
on
wants,
the wall.
Here's
he
the
wants
thing.
people to like it.
Right? Yeah.
Here's the
Go
thing,
ahead.
though.
Go ahead.
Assam. So Young Jun is out in the middle of Chinatown, just passing out counterfeit.
Yeah.
can't pass. It's like, here, take us to your dad, take us to your mom, take us to your business,
And-
go do what you got to do. It's all good. And then Ah Sahm is pissed. It's like, yo, man,
Dude, you told me this was going to be a
it's like,
low key thing.
This is a low key thing. We need to just like keep us on the down low. We need to like use this just to jumpstart the legitimate business to where we get things going again. And
it's only
all
supposed to
with
be
it.
temporary.
And it's only a temporary thing, and I'm all with that. And then Young June comes up, you know, and legitimately says, yo, man, you need to like chill your shit.
Yeah.
Because what I'm doing here is I'm washing the money. And he's right. He's 100% right.
He did call
but
that.
He's
did-
doing it the wrong way
but-
because they're only putting eyeballs on him.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
Because everybody knows where the money's coming
but
from.
you know
Did
what?
Tropper
He
just text
does.
you back?
He does. He does need to wash this money.
He does need to wash it, but
It
this is
needs
how
to be washed.
what he should be doing is investing in these companies the same way that
Right.
Mai Ling has been doing.
It's like,
Yeah.
if he was smart, you don't want to like have your
You don't want-
bullshit,
you
your
don't want
fake
the
money
attention.
out, and you don't want everybody in Chinatown having counterfeit money.
Right.
You want to put that out in Duckville.
Yeah. If he
Duckville.
was,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
if he was
Yeah.
really
It's
trying to
like-
wash the money, he wouldn't be doing that shit himself.
Not
No.
himself. Yeah, 100%.
So I get it. I get
Where he's coming from?
Where he's coming from, but I also get where Awesome is coming from.
Yeah, they're both
because they're
right.
both right.
Yeah, they need to
And-
wash the money, but Young Jun doesn't need to do it himself.
Yeah.
And just for
Because he just wants people to like him.
what my reaction to what you were asking me about is I just Googled real quick what $10 was worth because they're passing out $10 bills.
Right.
Probably
How much is that
500
worth?
bucks.
At least
I don't know.
$100.
It's $284.
There
See,
you go.
It's
a lot of
fucking
money.
ridiculous.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
Well, Young June's also, he's using it to help the people whose businesses have been shut down by the policeman's crackdown on Chinatown.
Because he wants to be their Jesus.
Yeah, but he's kind of like doing that whole like crime lord of the people thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That Mai Ling has been doing for
I mean,
for a while.
Yeah.
My Ling's got her shit going on right now, right?
Yeah.
So that scene where she's at the art gallery and
and she sees
Buckley
Buckley?
sees her and she's in like that pink dress and the look on Buckley's
Buckley's
face
just
was
like,
priceless.
this
It's weird. It's like there's a whole thing with her with Mai Ling and this white society girl.
Yeah, yeah.
I forget her name. It does.
She looks like blonde Kristen Ritter, does she
Yeah,
not?
it's like
who that is.
I'm not quite sure where this storyline is going, but the rich white girl gives Mai Ling a
dress.
fancy white lady dress.
I'm actually
right?
surprised that like because this feels like a part that should have been Penelope's, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And it seems weird. So this is where I get a little weird with Mai Ling. It's like, to me, Mai Ling is a businesswoman. She should be focused on the Tong.
Yeah.
But instead, I feel like Mai Ling is more interested.
She's looking for an exit.
She's more interested in getting accepted in white duck society.
But that's
so
what-
she's really fascinated with this fancy white girl.
That's
dress.
what Lee Young says
you
to
know,
her.
right?
That right. But- So that's your perspective. God, I can't talk. Your perspective is what Lee Young said to her, and she said, "Ducks are greedy. I just want their
I
money."
don't buy it though.
I do. I
feel
do. I
like
think she has the
she's
freaking
got the long
future.
game,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's got the future in sight.
Where she's playing the 4D chess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
but-
doesn't want to be a leader of a Tong. She wants to be a businesswoman.
But the thing about Mai Ling is that like she speaks English so fluently that white society is impressed by her. It's not broken English. She doesn't
Right.
sound dumb.
Right.
And so like there's also a great line in the scene where the husband of the blonde Kristen Ritter lady comes in and he's like, "Your English is amazing," and she's like, "Thank you, so is yours."
yeah, and he
And,
laughs.
and it takes him a moment, and he's like, "Oh, that was funny."
Yeah.
And it just shows that Mai Ling is just like a step ahead of all these people.
Yeah, for sure. I think Mai Ling is probably, I want to say, the smartest person in the show.
Oh yeah. I
And
get
also
it.
at the same time, she's allowing them to use her as like a Barbie doll, but
Yeah.
also at the same time, she's calling them out for it and being like, "Don't talk to me like I'm your fucking Barbie doll. Your English is pretty good too."
Yeah.
Well,
but-
she's also getting a lot of sympathy because she keeps repeating the same like
Oh,
hardship
she's-
story.
Oh yeah, like her
over and over again.
audiobook excerpt. Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what's Bruce Lee's dude name?
Lee Young.
Lee Young has got a relationship with the chairman and the Iron Chef crew, right? So there's something.
Something's going to break.
Something's going on with the Iron Chefs and Lee Young, as far because they have a past. And I don't think we've had that fully explained what their past is
you
yet.
also see Mai Ling, talk about playing 4D chess. So like she brings Marky Mark on board as like her consigliere. Yeah, the head of the Iron Chefs, the chairman.
His name is Mark, the actor.
Okay.
Mark
Right?
Dacasco. Yeah.
Mark.
I just the chairman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like she brings him on and seeks his advice and counsel. So she's also kind of wooing him on board as well at the same time. So like she's playing all types of and the scene between her and Ah Sahm in this episode was very telling as well, because she makes it clear that like she's so far ahead of him in terms of like, like young June just like fucking everything up and stuff like that.
And honestly, Ah Sahm is being very short-sighted too. Like he just wants to take over the Hop Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mai Ling is going to take over the fucking world.
Let me ask you guys this question, just really quick.
So
Do we really buy into the fact that Mai Ling is so smart? That she knows what is happening with the rival Tongs and with these Tongs she's bringing in, and with Long Z and the chairman. And
She's playing the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like she might not know everything that's going on, but she has a strategy.
she's hedging her bets, whereas everybody else just seems to be stuck in a feedback loop.
So her B plan is to get in good with the society ladies.
That's her A plan. Her B plan is to be a Tong leader.
Do you think that she started this relationship with Lee Young because he has so many good connections, and as long as she has his loyalty, she has the power?
Maybe now. Last season I wouldn't have said that, but maybe now with this season, maybe it's possible. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think you're underestimating her. I think she's
I think I always have.
Yeah.
Through this entire series, I think I always have underestimated.
And maybe
because she's not been my favorite character.
Maybe they don't show her doing enough action-y stuff to get your attention. I think it's all under
They don't
the
really show
table.
her fighting.
You know what I want to see?
Not fighting, but I mean like they don't show her a lot. She does major moves very quickly.
I want to see Mai Ling slitting somebody's throat.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Well, she stabbed
she
her
killed her
husband.
husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
That was
want
season
I
one,
want I just want to like see her go up to some like asshole, one of the three brothers dudes or something, and just going, "Oh, you don't want to join?"
Any of you
And-
motherfuckers got anything else to say? Yeah.
I need an Oren Ishii moment.
Yeah.
She had one of those last.
I think I
was it
need.
season
Well,
one or
maybe I
season
do.
She did
Maybe
with the Zing.
maybe
Well,
maybe I need
she,
another
she
one.
also had that big table where she brought all of the Long Z lieutenants in there, and
That's
she ended
right.
up killing that one guy with
Yeah.
her
I guess,
gun.
but didn't
Remember the gun in the hand?
I guess so. Yeah,
She's done it. She's done
guess
it.
so.
Mai
And also
Ling's
she
pretty ruthless.
poisoned
That's true. That's true.
the fungi.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
very sorry.
she's made a lot of moves, but they're all like they're not as over the top as Ah Sahm, where he just like runs in and demolishes everyone.
Yeah.
But another big part about this episode was the growing alliance between Leary and
Yeah.
Douglas. Is that his name?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh
Red
yeah,
Wolf
they
Douglas.
send him after
Dude.
Douglas to take Douglas out. Douglas is like,
what do you think you're
let's
doing?
chat.
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about this real
yeah.
quick.
And
He's
he
like,
comes back, and they're like, "Did you take care of Douglas?" And he's like, "I'm going to take care of you."
Yeah.
That
I
was
was
That was really fun
Turning
how
the
we did that
tables.
because
Turning the tables.
Leary goes in there and he does his thing right. It's like he's gonna be the big bad. I'm gonna
I'm gonna beat
fuck
you up
you
a little
up.
bit. Yeah.
It's like no. It's like I know who you are, and do you think I'm really that dumb enough to travel alone? Let me
And the
introduce, let me introduce you
7
to
foot
my
tall
12
dude.
friends.
Yeah. This
Fucking like 7
giant.
lurches come out.
Right.
Yeah.
So Leary, God, I love that. I love Leary now.
Yeah, I love
do.
Leary.
He's like, oh,
All right.
maybe these are some dudes I need to get to know a little bit better.
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
I underestimated you.
Yeah,
Right.
Douglas gets into his carriage, and Leary thinks that he's just gonna fuck off because like he's checkmated him basically. But then Douglas
He peeks his head out.
and he's like, "Are you gonna join me or not?"
It's like, come on, get in the carriage.
And
Let's go.
you can see Larry's face go, oh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna
All
go
right.
eat some Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
that's good.
And
Let's
then
go.
and then Douglas, he brings him back to his immaculate parlor.
His lair.
Yeah, his lair. and basically he lays it out for Leary, where he's like, look, these guys that you're cozying up to, they just look at you as a thug that they can use for their own good. I brought myself up by my bootstraps. I was in the military just like you. I saw my friends die. I fought in the mud and the blood, and I made something of myself, and I can make something of you too if you want it. And he basically just wins Leary over at that moment. And now like we have that unholy alliance, which leads to the climax of this episode.
The burning of the Lesbian Vineyard.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
This freaking place. Okay.
The lesbo who are Chinese vineyard.
God.
Gotta go.
We're just doing it just to tease you now, dude. It doesn't even matter. I don't even care. I just think it's funny that it is absolutely a slave labor camp.
Her
100%. Dude, they're having picnics and everybody else is playing the field.
Because
It's fine.
we're all girls.
It's fine.
Because we're all just hanging out
They're
there together.
happy.
And
They're
Douglas
happy
is like,
together.
I think there's lesbians there.
Yeah. Earlier in the episode, Douglas basically tries to blackmail Davenport into signing over her land by saying he's going to start a rumor that
she's a lesbian.
No, well, that she's a lesbian, but that she's actually running a whorehouse.
Yeah.
Oh,
out of
that's
the
right.
vineyard.
Yeah, and she's like,
And it's going to ruin her reputation.
You would know one if you saw one, wouldn't you? Like, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
okay,
so Douglas gave her multiple opportunities to basically
Just
bend the knee.
sell.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it from you,
okay.
and they do.
like I kind of understand where she's coming from. It's her vineyard. She doesn't want to sell. But if they're like, hey, we're building a railroad through this via the U.S. government, you're going to sell now or you're going to sell later for cheaper. As a businesswoman, she should just be like, oh, totally.
And also, there was this whole subplot about her and Atoy going in together to buy some new land.
Yeah.
Right,
So it's like, okay, sell your old land, use that. For the new land.
Am I wrong if it's like if a representative from the United States government comes up and goes, hey man, we're going to build a freeway through your farm, but we're going to pay you for this much for your land, and that's kind of how it goes. And it's like
throughout
I'm gonna
history.
go.
Honestly,
I'm gonna
have
go,
you heard about the Napa wine train?
Right. I'm gonna go.
Just bring those tourists right up to my
Yeah.
vineyard, and I'll sell them my wine.
I would even broker a deal like that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Put your railroad
Put your
right here.
railroad right,
Yep, we're
your
drunk.
railroad
I
right
mean-
through here.
Yeah.
Call me a sellout, but I'm gonna go sold. Boom. Let's go.
Baby,
I'm
listen.
gonna go retire. And I'm gonna drink wine.
I've mentioned,
and-
yeah.
It's like people do things only because they get free
yeah.
booze.
Oh man,
Yeah.
And that's just really sad.
so weird,
Because,
guys.
you know, I hate drinking stuff that people give me.
No, but seriously, that is another opportunity for her
Yeah.
to be like, hey, you know what? Build a railroad.
Yeah.
But let me set up a little stop for people.
Yeah.
And I'll sell my wine, and we'll
Yeah.
both be profitable.
Build a cabin.
Who cares? Airbnb.
Yeah.
It's fine. I get it. I don't understand why she's so locked into this vineyard. Like,
She just
make another one.
Because
she
she's
just
gotta
doesn't want to
have-
lose any power.
She's got to have a place to save her.
She doesn't-
her
She
rescued
could build
Chinese
another
hooers.
one.
She doesn't want anyone making her choices for her.
Fair.
I mean,
sure.
was
I get
the
it.
entire Napa Valley filled up with vineyards at this point?
I don't know.
I don't think.
I think
it
it's
was.
just hers.
she's
just-
the
Well,
first.
this is Sonoma, so
She's
it's
the
different.
first one.
Anyway.
was like,
Okay,
we
so
gotta-
then
But then
gotta-
the thugs,
the thugs show up.
that were established earlier with Leary show
Yeah.
up, and they start burning down, setting fire to the vineyard.
So there's more Irishmen being gainfully employed
Yes.
as fire thugs.
right. Fire
Yeah.
thugs. I like that. Fire thugs of
Are
Leary.
they Irishmen?
Yeah,
Or are they
they're
just
Irishmen.
dudes?
They're part of Leary's crew, I think.
no,
And also Douglas.
I think they're all Douglas's.
They're all
crew at this
Douglas's?
point, yeah.
They're
Okay.
not. They're,
The vineyard burns down, right? And then we get a toy. So this is what I love about, because I know Tropper loves Olivia, who plays a toy, and they're like, you're freaking awesome, you're great as a toy, you're the best character ever. I love it.
She's wounded.
She's wounded, and
She's hurt.
they don't give her the Mary Sue treatment.
Yeah.
She goes into battle, and she's obviously slow. Of all the fight scenes in the first 3 episodes, this was the clunkiest one for good reason.
but it's on purpose.
Well, for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
and Lai jumps back into.
Yeah, she comes back in now.
Oh God, Lai has been dying to pick up her sword.
Dude, she's like, I haven't murdered a white person in like 6 months.
My God.
It's been like 2 episodes till I killed somebody.
Talk about coming in your pants. Lee came all over herself during
She's
this
got
fight.
those 2 little like sickle things that she's going after people
She's
with.
out there weeding the
Look,
grapes
dude,
with.
the
You
scene
know how mad she is every day at work in that field,
God.
having to use those things
And not on a white person?
human. Yes.
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think she's pretending those grapevines are like people?
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Yes.
Dude, the scene where she comes running over the flaming barrels and she like leaps into the air.
She's so cool.
and she just starts slicing. I was like, yes, give me more.
But how badass was that? That henchman with the whip?
Yeah.
Who's like, what's his name? Davis.
Douglas.
Douglas's
Douglas's primary
bodyguard.
guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
he's
like,
gonna-
like he takes a sickle through the arm. He just like pulls it out like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Sick.
Badass. Yeah.
I don't buy it.
You don't buy the whip thing?
No, I don't buy the taking the sickle to the arm thing. It's like, that's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt later.
That's gonna hurt a little bit.
Maybe he's hopped up on something.
I was just going to say he's probably on opium.
Yeah, but what if he's
Yes,
on opium?
He's on
Yeah,
something.
but the lesbian Chinese army fights off the bad guys. But the vineyard is lost basically. And that's where this episode ends, and we're just like
Big
"Ooh,
cliffhanger."
what's gonna
I mean,
happen next?"
Yeah,
They're not going to pay for that land now.
They
It's
fucked up
fucking
the
ruined.
farm. The farm's ruined. It's all the barns and
The
buildings
barns are
burned
down. The
Well,
vineyard's down.
Well, I mean, like they still own the land. The land has value, but now there's no reason for them to stay on the land other than just to be stubborn.
They got to go back and be whores.
Yeah, but immediately Douglas is going to be like, well, I was going to pay you for like the fair
Yeah,
rate, and
it's
now
not
I'm
worth
not.
it now.
Now
Yeah, it's
I'll
not
give
worth
you
that much
pennies
now.
on the dollar.
Yeah, which he absolutely should because it's a burnt piece of crap now, and there's nothing on there. It makes sense.
It's all raisins. Now.
So the dudes, thugs, come and burn the farm down.
Yeah.
Most of them die by the lesbian army,
Some.
and stuff happened. So
That's the end of this episode.
yeah.
I'm not a fan of dropping 3 episodes at once, just for the
No,
record.
no. It's hard to talk about
for the record.
we really zipped through all 3 of these things.
Very difficult. I
It makes
wish I
it-
could have spent more time, but it's been an hour and a half almost. And we've
Really?
got- yeah. We've
Wow.
got to.
I'm sorry I fucked up the synopsis, but to
No,
be
it's
fair,
okay.
I had already written out my synopsis by the time you sent that email,
But-
so I
but-
just
but-
scanned it.
Here's the thing, though. All 3 of these episodes were amazing.
They're great.
That's a great show.
Great openings to the season.
And even if we didn't do justice to all 3 episodes, I think we touched on all the highlights. And it's
Our
fun.
biggest complaint is that the show's too good. We can't make fun
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
enough.
Wow.
It's not invasion, man.
I do.
It's
I have a great time making fun of Davenport's slave labor camp. That's my favorite thing.
ridiculous.
It's my favorite thing to make fun of.
You get one.
And that's all I need. It's fine.
You know how happy I was to just be sitting here watching
New episodes?
Yeah.
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 100%.
Yeah, because for Jude and I, like we watched this thing, about I think 2021, like after it had been
Yeah.
out for a bit. And so like we were like, oh man, it sucks that this show got canceled.
So it was
like,
really fun revisiting
Yeah,
it.
well, the fact that it came back, and I really hope that they get like a seasons 4 and 5.
Oh,
and, like,
absolutely.
they want it. Like it would be a shame if it ended
If
after 3 seasons.
There's nothing else like this show on TV
No,
anywhere. On
no.
streaming services, on networks, anywhere. It is well worth your time. And if you haven't seen season 3, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the first 2 seasons, which I'm kind of betting that you haven't,
Yeah.
go watch seasons 1 and 2 and then start watching season 3.
Hopefully you
Is there
started
only-
watching it before you listened to
Yeah,
this.
watch. This is a great series.
And this is a show that hasn't dipped in quality over
Yeah.
the seasons. Like even with the long hiatus, like season 3 started with a bang, and it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
look like it's
There's,
gonna slow
I mean,
down.
I know a lot of people complain about how shitty new content
This is not- yeah,
I mean,
this is great.
This show is everything you want in
Action
an
HBO show.
action rated R
Yeah.
whatever show. I mean,
Dude,
it's,
do you remember
the
that fight
stories?
scene?
The stories are compelling. The characters are amazing. The sex is so awesome. the action is top tier.
Yeah.
I mean,
The beards.
the
This
beards
should-
are incredible.
Okay, I'm gonna say
You know,
something.
we forgot to talk about something.
What's that?
What's that?
Printer's daughter on the take.
Oh yeah, she stole some money.
She's
Yeah,
skimming
yeah, yeah.
and she
As
has
you
like
would.
yeah,
for her.
she has like
for
this
her.
hair comb and they pat her down every night to make sure she's not stealing.
Yep.
She goes home, she takes her hair comb out, there's money in it.
That's
She's
worth
not-
about.
she's not dumb.
That's almost $1,000
Yeah.
worth of money that she just hid it
Yeah.
back in her pocket.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely, take advantage of Ah Sahm having a boner. It's fine. I get it. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm actually gonna say this show, like quality wise and action wise and just character driven stuff. This should be as popular as like a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Absolutely.
the quality's there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have flying dragons, but the quality is
Well,
there.
I think that they brought it back because, like, after it was canceled, but during the COVID era, people were looking for stuff to watch, and they discovered this show and how good it was.
Yeah, it's freaking
And so
awesome.
they brought it back, and I really
Yeah.
hope that they keep it going because it is probably one of Max's best series.
100%.
100% is.
I hope for whatever it's worth, our little YouTube channel and our reviews that we've been doing helps bring more people to this show. That's really my only goal. I know
I haven't
our
watched
reviews
a show that had more compelling characters than this show than maybe since Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
In the first couple early seasons.
Yeah.
And it's really good. It's really fucking good.
You know what I don't want to happen is to keep watching this show and then suddenly at the end of the episode it says, listen to our podcast about this. And
No.
it's not us.
This is the freaking
We've been here
podcast.
since day one.
Yeah.
And the reason season 3 is so good, no Penny and Sophie.
And yet.
Oh, fuck
So far.
off. They're going to
So
be
far.
back.
I don't know about Sophie.
I don't know about Sophie.
Penny will
but
be back.
Penny has to come back.
has
We
to.
need them back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
I-
Return of
I-
the Fuck Palace.
I want to know what happens.
I want the fuck
So-
palace back.
Yeah,
that hasn't
the
been
fuck
back.
asylum.
That hasn't been back since season 1.
It's the asylum now.
Before we get going, before we end this thing,
what's up?
What's everybody's favorite character?
Awesome.
Big Dick Lee.
Ah Sahm, Big Dick Lee.
Yeah.
Leary.
I'm going with Chow.
Okay,
Okay.
Chow.
So
Fair.
Awesome,
Big Dick Lee.
Big Dick Lee, Chow, and
Jude?
Leary.
Leary. Okay. Man, we are really
We're very different.
very
Diverse.
different.
A diverse crowd.
Why,
My favorite character is the Chinese horror army.
The Chinese horror army.
Lesbian
Those
slave army.
great
I do love
pickers.
Lie.
God, the
And
people.
I need Lie to be killing people this season, not just working in a field.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I want to thank Jonathan Tropper.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody
Bro.
included. I know there's a lot of people.
I want
that-
to thank Jean-Claude Van Damme for inspiring Jonathan Tropper.
Jesus.
I want to thank everybody involved in this show, the actors, Andrew Koji, Olivia.
Oh, he's so cool.
They're so freaking good. The Tom Jones, who plays Big Dick Lee, those guys are amazing. Hoon Lee, they're all great.
Amazing. They're
Cannot
great.
wait for season 3. I've heard and I've got confirmation from Hoon Lee that he did get to write one of these episodes this season.
That's cool.
So
wrote one?
yeah, he wrote one.
Wow.
So I'm looking on the opening credits. I'm looking for his name to show up on the written by section, which is
Cool.
the very last part.
And
So-
apparently there's a big thing that happens in episode 6 that they've been teasing.
Yeah, they have.
Stay
so
tuned for that.
excited.
yeah, awesome. Okay.
So
Okay.
from now on, it's just going to be one.
One episode.
Yeah.
One
One
Okay.
episode a week. So if you're watching this review, we watched all 3 episodes. From this point forward, we're going to be doing one a week, just like the release, and we will be doing in-depth reviews. So this is an hour and 20 minutes so far
Really?
of this review. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is going to be one of the longer episodes because we had to cover so much. By the way, HBO, don't do that anymore. Can
Yeah,
we just do one episode, please? Thank
2
you.
at the most.
2 at the most. Do a 2-hour review. Okay, so anyway, that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Warrior Season 3. Welcome back, everybody, to the cast and crew. Salute. Thank you guys so much. Cheers to everybody.
Stay sticky.
Cheers.
Stay
Stay
sticky.
sticky.
I love it. Good job, Jude. Cheers,
All
everybody.
right.